Page 1 of 16. Page 2 of 16. The Way of Enlightenment. This book was written as a guide to reaching nirvana and reaching a state of enlightenment in order to transcend to the otherworld or Tur Nan Og. It is based on the teachings of Druids and transcended masters, who have given us the wisdom of the eons as well as knowledge sought in shamanic journeying. In order to reach enlightenment, a path must be followed. That path must involve waking up your very mind to the mystical nature of the cosmos and involve a living standard that causes no suffering in other species, both animal and plant. It involves leading your life to a set of guiding principles which will lead to minimal suffering and a state of enlightenment in this world in order that you transcend to the other world when you die instead of getting reborn. The three treasures of the gods. Everyone has a divine nature. Follow the Oran. We are all one. The Four Noble Truths. All living things experience suffering. Suffering is caused by a state of desire or longing. Getting rid of a state of desire ends the longing, which causes no suffering. All things in moderation. Four Noble Precepts. The destruction of life causes suffering in all beings and the ending of one person's life journey, which is encoded in your Akashic record. So therefore we learn compassion for all beings, both animal and plant. We humans are just another earth animal species with the intelligence to be the guardians of our world. So we must ensure that the Earth's biosphere is healthy enough to contain thriving animal and plant species. We refuse to kill, or to condone any acts of killing. Injustice in an unenlightened world will always exist, so we learn how to love other humans and animal and plant species as well as ourselves. We learn the importance of community and what its needs are in order to contain happy people and animals as well as a thriving plant population. We refuse to harm our community by refusing to steal or destroy in any way or shape our own community of people, animal, plant, and homes as well as any other community we encounter both on Earth and within the cosmos. Speech is a wonderful gift which from we can communicate our mind's wishes as well as inspire others to improve their lives. We must use compassion in our speech in order to maintain harmony within the universe. We must listen to the needs of others as well as work towards a peaceful world. Seek out the middle way to nirvana. Suffering is caused by overconsumption, which is wrong mindfulness and wrong action. We must be aware of what we eat and drink in order that we minimize suffering. Therefore the eating of meat from other animals is forbidden, as this not only Page 3 of 16. Causes suffering but ends the animal's life journey. The gods love all souls and all humans, animals, and plants have souls. The fivefold path to nirvana. Right thinking. Our thoughts can have positive and negative energy, so we must water the seeds of positive thoughts and weed out any negative thoughts. Our thoughts lead to action, so we must ensure that compassion is always in our minds. If compassion is in our minds, then we will not cause any suffering in other sentient beings or ourselves. So we refuse to cause suffering in others. Right speech. Words are very powerful and can cause hurt or joy. The transcended Master Buddha stated that we should not lie or attempt deceit, that we should not gossip or slander, that we should not hurt others with our words, and that we should refrain from idle speech. Right action. Unless your community is at war with an aggressor, then we must never kill or act violently. We must live in a way that is harmonious to the gods and our communities. So we must never steal or be dishonest with other beings. We must never harm anybody, including sexual misconduct, which causes suffering in other sentient beings. Right livelihood. This is about our daily life as well as our work life. Our lives must be held in harmony with other species, so our occupations and daily activities must ensure that our planet and her people, both animal and plant, can thrive. Right mindfulness. This is the mental capacity to be mindful and compassionate all the time. It is being aware of our surroundings and how they correlate with our right thoughts and right action. It is about how you respond to outside events, whether with wrong thoughts and actions or with right thoughts and actions. It is about having the Oran to inspire others to help and create for us all a nirvana on earth. Oran and Druidry. Oran, loosely translated, means flowing spirit, guiding spirit, or inspiration. There is some evidence to suggest that the Druids were the guardians of the hallucinogenic shrooms of the psilocybe and amanita species, which grow abundantly in Britain, and use these mushrooms, or a combination of plants and fungi in a sacred brew, to obtain Auran and access other worlds. This can also be achieved with the sacred brew ayahuasca. Auran is clearly something that transcends the different means of obtaining it, including deep meditation. Auran is the divine energy of inspiration from the goddess. Much of the teaching of Druidry is concerned with helping us to contact Auran, and to encourage its flow through our minds and hearts. Auran is said to bring bright knowledge, spiritual understanding which brings health and happiness, which in return minimizes suffering. The ideas of immanence and archetypes suggest that divinity is within all of us regardless of gender, whether we see that divinity as the gods and goddesses. That is Auran. We must live as an example, and since because we are not living in utopia, injustice exists in the world. We must therefore work to minimize and end that suffering and create that utopia for our communities. Auran inspires us to achieve that utopia on Earth as we wait to transcend to the other world. Page 4 of 16. The three worlds of the eternal cosmos. There are three worlds in the eternal cosmos: the upper world, the middle world, and the lower world. In the upper world you will find the otherworld or Tur Nanog, as well as the underworld and the land of the dead. The gods and transcended masters live in the otherworld, with condemned souls being punished in the underworld while they wait to be sent back to the land of the dead. The land of the dead is where all souls go once they die to be judged, then transcend into the upper or lower worlds for a while, or get reborn back into the middle world. The middle world is where the mortal realm is. That's the physical realm that we all live in. It is here that the gods have little command over, as we have been given the gift of free will to live our lives, but the gods expect us to behave ourselves and thrive as a species. The lower world is where the dead plants and animal spirits go to. It is here in shamanic journeys that the plants and animals can communicate to the journeyer the wishes and advice of the other species that live on our planet. The balance of yin-yang, samsara and karma. In cosmology, the universe was created by the gods. This can be emphasized when you think of fractals in nature and maths, as well as the Fibonacci sequence in maths and nature. Therefore, to achieve enlightenment and transcend to the God's realm of the otherworld, we must follow the path of balance, the middle way. Yin-yang. In philosophy, yin-yang, bright-black, positive-negative is a concept of dualism, describing how seemingly opposite or contrary forces may actually be complementary, interconnected, and page 5 of 16. Interdependent in the natural world, and how they may give rise to each other as they interrelate to one another. Yin is the receptive and yang the active principle, seen in all forms of change and difference, such as the annual cycle, winter and summer, the landscape, north-facing shade and south-facing brightness, the formation of both men and women as characters, and socio-political history, disorder and order. Karma. The cycle of rebirth is determined by karma, action. Karma refers to actions driven by intention, a deed done deliberately through body, speech, or mind, which leads to future consequences or suffering. Your actions, karma, are what gets judged by the immortal judges when you pass over to the land of the dead. Your community's actions, karma, gets brought into consideration as well. Even your intent has a degree of karmic action which gets judged. All our karma gets stored in the Akashic realm in the upper world. Samsara. Birth and death in the mortal realm occurs in successive cycles driven by ignorance, desire, and hatred. The cycle of rebirth is called samsara. It is a beginningless and ever-ongoing process. Liberation from samsara can be attained by following the middle way. Balance. Balance is the key to achieving enlightenment. It is the foundation of all our very being. Our bodies try to keep an equilibrium balance to stay healthy and alive, And so must we in the very being of our minds, so that we keep our souls healthy and then transcend to the other world. The path of balance is the path of middle way Druidry. This is the path that leads to enlightenment. Thereby achieving nirvana, the ongoing process of rebirth is stopped. The path of middle way Druidry. The fivefold path to nirvana. The fivefold path to nirvana is a free-flowing energy force that takes the first step of the right thinking process and morphs into the right speech, from whence we flow into the right action of that right speech while keeping in mind the right livelihood and the all-consuming force of right mindfulness into our right thinking thoughts, which brings us full circle in the wheel of the path of life and the fivefold path to nirvana. Page 6 of 16. Right thinking, element ether. Unlike the other species of our planet, humans think in speech. This capability is a wondrous evolutionary state for a species on our planet. Our thoughts stem from the element of ether. That's the spiritual element that inspires our very being and emotions as well as our thoughts. It is the cauldron from which our words, acts, and deeds flow. Right thinking involves only watering the seeds of our good thoughts, our developing potential thoughts. Thoughts that inspire within us the ability to act, speak, work and think in the right and positive way that is conducive to our very well-being and the well-being of our planet and her animal and plant species. Page 7 of 16. Our right thoughts can inspire not only ourselves but others too. We can achieve great acts with the right inspiring thoughts when we turn our right thinking into right speech. It's the same with right action. It also teaches us the correct and necessary things to do. For example, when we feel pain, which is the brain's way of letting us know that something is wrong with a particular part of our body, then the right thought would be to make an appointment with a doctor to fix our health problems, which stops us from suffering pain. Suffering is the cause of unhappiness. Happiness is what all species strive to achieve. Causing the suffering of another species is counterproductive to the health of the planet and all of her life forms. Therefore, with the right thoughts, we can ease the suffering of ourselves and others. Our wrong thoughts such as jealousy, greed, anger, violence can only lead to suffering and must therefore be weeded out and not further watered, as they can lead to wrong speech and wrong action. For example, jealousy can lead to other wrong thoughts such as greed. Maybe your friend got a brand new car or a faster and more powerful computer, or maybe he found a stunning new girlfriend. This could lead you to smear or belittle him to other people or be nasty to him. This can lead to suffering in another sentient being, including yourself, as other people will think less of you. Right speech, element air. Our speech, which is of the element air, is of the thinking which comes from the element ether. From combining these two elements we can vocalize our thoughts into words, of which is action of the element fire. The concoction of these three elements can lead to powerful speech, which must be of the right speech, as we can inspire love and compassion in others with the right speech, or with the wrong speech we can harm or kill others. Another type of wrong speech is lies. Deceit can only lead to the suffering of another being, whether we are lying to someone else or ourselves. For example, say you are walking along the road in a storm and you see someone lying down and you notice that they are unwell. They ask you to help them and you say you will get an ambulance. You then hurry along the road and instead of turning left to get help you go right and walk into your warm home for a cup of tea. This is an example of wrong speech, as the lie gave false hope and therefore suffering on the person you saw on the road. Right action, element fire. Right action is the act of compassionate action and preventing harm on others and the environment. The fundamentals of right action are to keep all your thoughts that are action thoughts in a right mindful state. Be aware of the suffering your actions can cause to other sentient beings or our environment and biosphere. It is impossible to not cause suffering, so therefore we must minimize the suffering that we do cause. We must try and strive to achieve a state of balance so that we get reborn as a human soul, or we must tip the scales of justice in the favor of good karma to transcend to the other world. Page 8 of 16. The next mindfulness step encourages mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. This is linked to the Four Noble Truths and all of the elements of the path to nirvana, but especially right action. Aware of the suffering caused by unmindful consumption, we have to cultivate good health, both physical and mental, for ourselves, our family, and our community by practicing mindful eating, drinking, and consuming. Inaction, which is non-action, is wrong action. For example, we must strive to ensure that our planet has the right capabilities to maintain life. As our world is a biosphere, then we must look after the world in a holistic way. When it comes to global warming, inaction will only lead to the destruction of the biosphere, so this is of the wrong action. Right livelihood, element earth. Right livelihood is the means to live your life in harmony with the wishes of the gods. This is your personal and work life. We must ensure that in leading our lives we harm no one and cause no suffering. Therefore, the right job is important in keeping faith with this concept. Not dealing in the slave or meat trades is paramount to a healthy soul. It is not just about your work life but also your home life. You must practice right livelihood in the very fabric of your daily life with your family and friends and community. Right mindfulness, element water. When we are in a right mindful state of mind, then our speech is right speech, our action is the right action, and so on, which means that we are in balance with the God's intent for us. Right mindfulness manifests through us using the flow of the energy of the element of water, which brings us back to the everyday world that we live in. Right mindfulness is the fundamental key to gaining enlightenment, as all other paths are influenced by right mindfulness, such as right mindful speech and right mindful action. Which is why it is under the influence of the flow of the element water these type of thoughts will manifest in your mind for your conscience to decipher and decide whether to act on these type of right mindful thoughts. Right mindfulness is the fundamental key to gaining enlightenment, as all other paths are influenced by right mindfulness, such as right mindful speech and right mindful action. Balance of the middle way, Druidry. The 5 concepts of the middle way, Druidry, and actually living that path are what's needed in order to attain a state of enlightenment. In order to fully transcend, we must meditate on our problems, thoughts, and actions to see if they are conducive to a healthy life for ourselves and others. If our thoughts, actions, and problems are not conducive to a healthy life for ourselves and others, then we will not have achieved a state of enlightenment, as there is still suffering in our actions, and therefore our life record will reflect that, and we won't transcend and will instead be reborn. Page 9 of 16. Concepts of Druidry. 1. Learn to see around you, your physical awareness. 2. Learn love and compassion for others and yourself. 3. Learn that your body is a temple and should be treated as sacred. 4. Learn the cycle of the seasons and to live lightly on the land and environmental awareness. 5. Learn the importance of nature and community. 6. Learn to meditate and see with your inner eye to open your creative insights. 7. Learn a spiritual path rooted in the mysticism of the cosmos and the other world. 1. Learn to see around you, your physical awareness. Aware of surroundings. Aware of your body's sensations. Aware of dangers. Aware of the path you are on. All beings see with their eyes, but not all humans can see what's in front of them. This is because they are not fully aware of their surroundings. You may see your partner, children, or friends, but do you fully see their needs? You can see your home with all the furniture, but can you see the time and craftsmanship that went into creating the furniture and building the home? It's not just what you see with your eyes, but what your body senses. The gentle caress of a lover or the loving touch of a parent. Even the pain of a fall has its way of keeping us alert to the needs of our health and well-being. Are you aware of the dangers of modern society? Do you see the intimidating group of young people walking towards you on the road, or do you see the young exploring their environment? The modern society that our government have created is all about fear and control. It is keeping lots of people confined to a very small locale out of fear of being attacked. The dangers of propaganda must be brought into the forefront of the mind, as we need to be aware of any hidden agendas that are not in our community's interest. We also need to be aware of the path we are on, both individually as well as in a community. We can choose the path of enlightenment or destruction for ourselves and the planet. 2. Learn love and compassion for others and yourself. Learn to love yourself. Learn to love others. Page 11 of 16. Learn to love the cosmos. Learn to love the gods. Love and compassion are two very powerful emotions. They both stem from empathy. If you can't empathize with another being, then you can't love. Without love, we are empty vessels struggling along a dark and lonely path. With empathy, we have the capabilities to pour out our love for our family, friends, and planet, and receive the rewards of love thrown back at us with nothing but pure ecstasy. In order to love others, we must be capable of loving ourselves. It is easy to find faults in our looks and personality. Everyone has these, but we can find it difficult to see our good points. We need to be aware of what we are capable of and not put ourselves down or say that's impossible to achieve. We can only but try, and we might surprise ourselves. The cosmos is our home. It is where our homeworld Earth is. It also is where other life forms exist, but around other stars well out of reach of our technology. Whether we have been visited by aliens is not in question, but whether we have the human and planetary awareness to fully comprehend the implications of not being alone in the universe and what that actually means is another thing. We must also learn to love and respect the gods and goddesses that live in the other world, as well as what intentions they have for ourselves as well as our collective species. We are here in the cosmos for a reason, and it is our duty to mediate and think of why we are here and what the gods want us to do. 3. Learn that your body is a temple and should be treated as sacred. Learn that your body is a vessel for the divine soul. Learn that what you eat and drink affects your body and soul. Learn that self-defense and physical fitness is central to harmony. Learn that moderation is the true path of enlightenment. In science, energy cannot be destroyed. The soul of all life beings is divine energy contained in a mortal body. When we die, our soul energy is released and transcends to the land of the dead, from where we are judged, then reborn, or our soul transcends into the other world depending on our life story. Since our souls are divine and immortal energy contained in a physical body, then we must treat our physical body with the reverence it deserves. We must eat and live in moderation and keep our bodies in top physical performance. We must be able to physically defend ourselves or escape to live another day if we are threatened, as no one has the right to end your physical life in the mortal realms. We must also protect our family as well as others when they need our help. Moderation is the true path to enlightenment, as we are what we eat and do. Page 12 of 16. The year keeps turning, time never stands still, as one season ends so another begins. The 8 festivals of the Druidic calendar starts in winter with the winter solstice on the 21st of December, then Imbolc on the 1st of February, then the spring equinox on the 21st of March, Beltane on the 1st of May, the summer solstice on the 21st of June, Lughnasadh on the 1st of August, the autumn equinox on the 21st of September, with finally Samhain on the 1st of November. Page 13 of 16. Family clan and human clan as well as the earth clan must be of vital importance to our daily lives as we grow from the roots of our ancestors and thrive with the fruits of our children as our community grows all over this world and beyond in the eons to come. 6. Learn to meditate and see with your inner eye to open your creative insights. Learn to enter a meditative state of mind. Learn the importance of the pineal gland. Learn how to shamanic journey. Learn the wisdom of the AES side. Meditation is important in that it allows us to clear our thoughts and tune into the inspiration of Auron. Through Auron we can inspire ourselves and others into achieving the near impossible, or at the very least those tasks which, while not rewarding, are necessary to the functioning of the planet's biosphere. We must learn how to shamanic journey to commune with the AES side to gain wisdom and advice in order that we can navigate a correct path through the tribulations of life. By shamanic journeying we can learn how to treat ourselves and others with the right level of respect, and we learn the wishes of the gods and goddesses in that which they require us to achieve. Through the wisdom of the AES side we gain a better insight into how to be a better person as well as a better custodian for our family and the Earth and Cosmos family. 7. Learn a spiritual path rooted in the mysticism of the cosmos and the other world. Learn the mysteries of the stars and planets. Learn the importance of our homeworld. Learn about the realm of the gods and goddesses. Learn the importance of Auron. As we travel on the life path that we have created for ourselves, we must also take time out from our busy schedules to contemplate the meaning of life. All of our thoughts and what we see is recorded in our Akashic record, as well as the human Akashic record. It is your own Akashic record that gets judged when you meet the immortal judges when we pass over, and the human Akashic record is also brought into consideration by the immortal judges. Therefore it is imperative to live our lives to the wishes of the gods and to ensure that our governments do the same. We must learn all we can about the planets and stars in our neighborhood as well as striving to visit any planets which our technology will allow us to travel to. Page 14 of 16. We must also ensure that our homeworld is not destroyed as we are confined to one small point in the immensity of the universe. So therefore our homeworld is of paramount importance and must be protected by the dominant and intelligent species of that planet. End of excerpts. Book coming soon. Page 15 of 16. Page 16 of 16.